Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Market Watch. Today is Saturday, February 15th. This is a night market watch. I unfortunately had a lot of stuff going on this morning and this afternoon. I actually got a new couch and was putting that together most of the day. So that took up my morning, so I didn't get to this quite yet, but figured I would still get it done and out for you guys tonight. So as always, we're going to start with the best-selling cards of the week. Primite Dragon Ether Barrel is holding 35. That's not surprising considering we did get the Blue Eyes structure released here this week. It is officially legal for tournament play, and they are pretty good. I'll admit, I'll eat my crow. I'll admit that I was wrong. Blue Eyes is decent. I won't say it's tier 1. It's definitely not tier 0, but I think it's a solid tier 1.5, maybe top of tier 2 style deck. And you do need 3 Ether Barrel Dragon for that deck if you want to play the Primite. You're also going to need 3 Lordly Load, which, as we can see, is on the climb up to $80, $85 right now. Budget players, I'm sorry, but I'm here for you, okay? I've got a couple budget upgrades and other engines you can run. And if you guys want to see how I would build a Blue Eyes deck, like on a budget, we're talking like 3 structure decks plus $10, $20 more, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Let me know, and I will be happy to put that together for you. Molcharmies, we've got the 3 of them here, Purlia, Meowls, and Fuelos. Fuelos is holding 90, whereas Meowls is holding 55, and Purlia is down to 45. I'm a little surprised Purlia is holding a $45 price tag. I figured by now we would have moved to maybe $35 for Purlia, but at the same time, it is still pretty good into Ryzeal. Purlia is better into Ryzeal than Fuelos is. You usually get more draws. That being said, they're still really good cards, so I'm not too surprised. Abao Aku, the Lightless Shadow, is a $30 card right now. I'm not super surprised. It is a good card. It's not seeing as much play as I would have thought. It's seeing some though, because it does require a Fiend monster, and Fiendsmith is everywhere. We're seeing that. It's also pretty decent in Yubel and Unchained, but other decks are just playing it with a generic Fiend Link monster like a Nightmare. Mitsurugi Ritual is $20. I did play against a pure reptile deck today. Hung out with some friends, and I think this might maybe my first time playing against this deck, but it was like Ogdoadic, Mitsurugi, just a bunch of reptile slop kind of, and I use slop just as it's not a negative term, it's just everything is just there. And it was surprising. I was not able to break through the board. I was able to break through his board, but the problem was he just kept bringing back like Cosmic Slicer, Zerol, and just a bunch of stuff. It was a very interesting deck. But the Ritual is $20. Mitsurugi Ryzeal, I don't think is seeing as much representation as we initially thought. The cards are good, but people are more favoring Bisteel, Fiendsmith, and especially the pure variant now. I think people are wising up to the pure variant of Ryzeal, and that's causing Mitsurugi to drop a little bit in price, and it is only an ultra rare, so we can't expect it to hold the same price as something like Meowls. Engraver is below $60. I think this is a new low for Fiendsmith. It has not gotten this low in quite a while. Elzat Azumina the White Forest, phenomenal card, below $20. I'm not super surprised. I'm a little surprised. I figured it would have been at least a $30 card, but I think it just goes to show how little representation White Forest is getting. It's a very difficult deck to play, and it's definitely not better than Ryzeal. I'm speaking as someone who has been playing White Forest Azumina Fiendsmith for the past week or so, and yeah, it's not amazing. Dominus Impulse is still holding $60. I'm surprised this is selling so much. I guess it is playable in Malice and a couple other lists, but not in everything. So I'm surprised it's still holding a high sales amount. Dominus Purge, however, I'm not surprised at all. You can play this with Blue Eyes, you can play this in Fiendsmith variants, basically just anything that doesn't use Dark Water and... is it Fire? Yeah, Dark Water and Fire. Still an amazing card. It's climbing up to beyond the $40 mark, which I'm surprised about. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if these were in Last Stampede. So do with that what you will. Malice White Rabbit is holding 40. Underground is below 30. Again, it's not super surprising. I think people have cracked as much crossover breakers as they're going to, so these are probably stabilizing. People are like really hyped for Malice. It's just not. Malice has a higher ceiling than Ryziel for sure in terms of what it can do, but it loses to so much more. So I think that speaks for itself. What else do we got here? Fire King, Courtier, Alt Connects. Now, for those of you who don't know, Dinkabui, an amazing player, not only topped a YCS with Fire Kings, but he won a YCS with Fire Kings. Because of that, Fire King is shooting up in price. These structure decks are like $15 to $16 right now. If you didn't already pick, if you didn't pick them up or you started recently, and Olcanex is a very good card for the pure strategy, for the strategy in general, I should say. I think Dinkabui was playing triplicate of Olcanex, and that's why it's going up mainly. It is a good card. It's not that expensive compared to a lot of other decks. I mean, 3 Olcanex and 3 structure decks is like, what's that, $120-ish. That's not even a playset of Engraver. That's like 1 Lordly Load plus a Barrel Dragon. Yeah, you're not paying too much for Pure Fire Kings, but at the same time, I think it's pretty obvious that Pure Fire King is a good pilot with a good deck, not an insane deck that nobody in the world thought of. Stardust Surf Divine Dragon, I did find out after last week's Market Watch that this is for Blue Eyes, is specifically for the Crimson Dragon. This is a very good card in that archetype, or in that deck, when you are using Crimson Dragon. So that is why this is going up, as well as Crimson Dragon. Prismatic Secrets here are 30, original Secrets are 35, and pre-release Ultras, which is actually the one that I have, is 40. So if you have Crimson Dragons, you might want to consider offloading them. I think this is a peak price point for these. I don't think they're going to go much higher, and even if they do, I think they are a good consideration for Stampede. So let's rip the Band-Aid off. Blue Eyes is here. Blue Eyes is here. The structure decks are here. Now let's start here. Do I think the structure decks are worth buying? Yes. All right. Even if you're just buying them for the staples, like look at this. Imperm is $3.50, Ash is $1.50, Effect Veiler, which you get 2 of per structure deck, is 50 cents, Nibiru is 50 cents. You also get things like Called by the Grave and Hieratic Seals, great staples, all right? And these are, let's see, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, we'll say $8 for the staples, right? The structure decks are only 12 if you buy them at MSRP. Which means you're getting, debatably, a solid tier 2 version of a deck, right? Like, this is definitely not the best version of Blue Eyes that you can play, but it's a very good one. And you get everything you need for it, apart from, like, supplementary engines. There's no staple extra deck cards that Blue Eyes needs that aren't in the structure. I mean, the Ultimate Spirit Dragon's great. You also have normal Spirit Dragon. You have Twin Burst. You have Tyrant Dragon. You have Neo Ultimate. You have Azure Eyes. There is maybe 1 or 2 cards that would go in here, and they're like synchros, like Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon and stuff like that. I really don't think there's anything else you need to pick up to make this deck playable. Case in point, Blake, who you might remember from our Ashen Fiendsmith deck profile that we showed off a while ago went 3-0 at a locals with just 3 structure decks, so definitely a competent strategy. So when you consider the fact that you're getting $8 worth of staples and a playable tiered strategy in 3 structure decks, I think it is worth the increased price of the structure. That being said, I hope the price doesn't stay increased without the quality of structure decks being the same. Like, I do not want to have another Spirit Charmer structure deck situation where you have Effect Veiler and Dark Ruler No More as your staples, and then nothing else in the entire deck is playable. I'm going to go over some budget upgrades, like I said, for the Blue Eyes deck here in a bit, but I also wanted to just look at the Fire King cards, as I mentioned. Ulcanix is going up, and the structure decks, which we don't have here, let's go ahead and... Boop. Yep. Structure decks are around $12 to $14. So if you pick up 3 structure decks, you have everything you need apart from staples, and then you just need to pick up 3 Ulcanix, which means, yeah, you're gonna need to spend maybe $100 on this, but when you compare it to everything else that you could be playing right now, like Ryziel and Malice and everything, it's not too expensive. I did also want to bring up Atlanteans. Atlanteans also got top 4 at YCS Birmingham, so I wanted to go over some of the cards. Abyss Shrine is going up and up and up. It is doubled in price. It went from about $3 to about $7. This is obviously over a course of time and it doing well in topping, but you can see that this is climbing. I know a lot of people, myself included, who opened a few of these when Rage of the Abyss was the new hot set, and we were not happy. Same thing with opposite with Mermail Abyss Pike. This has gone down very, very slowly, but it has gone down. Now you can pick up versions of this card for about $8, $9-ish. Still an expensive card, still not a ton of listings. This is a definite include in Last Stampede, so if you are hoarding Abyss Pikes because you're waiting for them to spike up again, you might have missed your chance, so sorry about that. So here's some upgrades that I'd love to talk about for the Blue Eyes deck. So I'm looking more at the XCs because looking at the synchros, there's really not a lot of level 9 synchros that you can make. There's definitely not a lot of like level 8 synchros or anything else that you can make in this deck. And the fusions are pretty set in stone for what you can make. So it's really the XCs options that you have. One great one is Hope Harbinger. This is a spell negate. It lets you redirect attacks, all that kind of stuff. You can pick one up for like 50 cents, less even, like a quarter. It is a very good card. Honestly, it's just a good include. You also have Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, which is a monster negate. Debatably better, but I think really one of the bigger problems for Blue Eyes is spell trap removal targeting the True Light and things like triple tactics talents and stuff. One way to prevent the True Light from going off, so you guys don't know what True Light does, it's Eternal Soul for Blue Eyes, which if you don't know what Eternal Soul does, it can summon one, it can search a card, but if it leaves the field, it blows up your entire field. A great way to prevent that is Dingirsu, Orcus the Evening Star. It is a rank 8, so you can make it in Blue Eyes fairly easily. I think Blue Eyes even played this at one point because it was just one of the best rank 8s that you can make. The important part of this card here is this text. If a card S you control will be destroyed by battle or card effects, you can detach one material from this card instead. That is an effect that doesn't activate. It is a replacement effect. So... And here's an example of how it works, and it does work this way. I've had to have judges called on it a bunch of times because people don't believe me, because people don't know what Salamander Great Phalanx does and how it works, all right? So this is with Machina Citadel. You would Machina Citadel target itself. It would destroy everything. It would destroy itself and then everything your opponent controls with 3,000 or less attacks. That's the attack that the monster targeted has. You go, okay, resolve, effect resolve, replacement effect of Dingirsu, detaching material to protect the Machina Citadel, but it still goes through and destroys everything your opponent controls. So if you make this, if you make Dingirsu and your opponent goes like Typhoon or Ghost Ogre or just something like MST, target your True Light to destroy it, it goes to grave. You say, okay, mandatory effect of True Light, Chainlink 1 to destroy my whole field. Do you have a response to that? They say no. Okay, great. Effect resolves. Dingirsu replacement effect. Because it's a replacement effect, unless they do something like chain imperm target Dingirsu or book the Dingirsu or do something to get it off the field before they pop the True Light, they don't have a chance to stop it. It's just a replacement effect that happens. It doesn't activate, it doesn't do anything else. It also has a couple of other good effects, mainly this one right here. If it's special, you can send a card your opponent controls to the graveyard. Doesn't target, doesn't destroy. Really good effect. The last cheap engine I want to talk about is the Max Metalmorph engine. So I think this is pretty good because Black Metal is a level 1 dragon, which means it's you can use it as link material for the Blue Eyes Link. You can search Red MD is the obvious search that Dragon Link piles would do. You can also search this card, Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon, which is a negate for your opponent's cards. It's an omni negate for your opponent, and it also burns it also burns for attack damage equal to a monster on their field. So really neat. It's only about $5 to $7 per copy, and you've got a lot of copies here. It is a very good card. It's really nice. I like the way they balanced it. Max Metalmorph is pretty good. You can also pick up this card, Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. Now this is basically I forget if it's Dictator of D now or whatever, but it was one of the cards in the structure deck. You can send one level 5 or higher normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. It's really nice that it can do hand, so if you're only playing 2 Blue Eyes, you sent one already and you drew another, you can just send it. You special summon this card, then increase its level by 1. This is the only thing I dislike about this card, is the level gain is mandatory. If it was optional, it'd be so good because you could summon it, keep it a level 6, and then overlay it with a tomb. It's not the end of the world because you could link it off and then bring it back with Red MD. That way it's still a 6 and you could use it for a tomb with Bystials. But it does just suck that you can't just use it right out the bat. It can also search Red Eyes Fusion, which sounds cool. I mean, it's funny if you want to play all 3 major archetypes from DM, so Red Eyes, Dark Magician, and Blue Eyes in some capacity. But really, this first effect where you Foolish to special is all you're looking for. So Foolish is cost, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so that is going to be it from me today, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. It is a bit of a slower market watch. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm trying to talk slower. I have been told that I talk too fast sometimes when I'm doing my market watches and my videos. So trying to work on that. But if you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. But I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.